Hi everyone, it's Chenso from Reality Art Pod here to talk about the challenge All Stars 5, episode 10, titled This Is Why We're Rivals. Last week on the challenge, after a slippery, soapy daily challenge, Devon and Shane snagged a daily win, sending their pick Katie and Veronica to the jungle elimination, where they lost to house pick Nicole and Melissa, who stole Nani and Turbo's star, and Nani was pissed. Before I dive in, I put a link in the description to my playlist where you can catch up on my previous recaps. If you like the content, consider liking and subscribing. My videos aren't meant to replace the original content, so if you missed the episode, I encourage you to seek it out to enjoy and form your own opinion. You can binge tons of challenge and all stars by using my link and trying Paramount Plus for free. But let's dive into it. The next day, Nicole and Melissa feel like they're closer than ever. As the other players joke about Nicole cheating on her girlfriend, Adam reflects that this is about the time in the game in All Stars 4 when his star was stolen by Steve, their rival origin story. He hopes that they can keep their star and have a shot at winning the money for his daughters. Nani is still pissed. She and Turbo are the only team without a star, and Turbo is doing the usual, calling everyone pussy chickens in confessional, things like that. Devon FaceTimes with Cadence. We've watched this child grow up, and Devon wants to win the money without letting Shane piss her off and bring out Day Day from Inglewood. They head to their daily challenge called Pressure Sandwich, where they need to work together to squish puzzle pieces together, gathering more pieces at checkpoints as they go, increasing the difficulty. If they drop along the way, they have to go back to the last checkpoint. The first team to get back with all of their pieces and solve their 10-piece puzzle wins the daily. They get started, and as the difficulty increases, Shane and Devon's communication weaknesses come out, getting frustrated with each other throughout. Melissa says she and Nicole are like Dumb and Dumber, but Frank and Sam and Nani and Turbo look to be working the best together. Everyone thinks Shane is not acting cool, continuing to lose it and take his frustration out on Devon. It really isn't a good look. Frank and Sam get to the puzzle first without dropping once, and they solve the puzzle, winning another daily and protecting their star. After the challenge, Shane accuses Adam of grabbing him when he seemed to just be trying to help him not fall off the platform. Adam stands up to Shane, telling him to treat others, especially Devon, with respect. Shane storms off and leaves Devon frustrated and crying. TJ congratulates Frank and Sam and sends them back to the house, where the house will vote one team into elimination, and Frank and Sam will choose their opponent. Back at the house, Adam tries to talk to Shane about his behavior at the challenge. Shane defends himself, saying he was yelling but wasn't yelling bad things. Shane thinks that Devon plays the victim and is ignoring him. Elsewhere, Nani begins her campaign to go into elimination to get a star. She's worried that the house won't let them go in to get a star. They head to the club. Well, they might head to the restaurant. Nani may not have stopped campaigning the entire commute there. She's still going as Turbo talks to the fish in the koi pond. Adam is seeking closure from Steve for stealing his star last season. Steve doesn't want to apologize, and I'm surprised these two aren't over this at this point after working together and winning so much this season. Though since Steve is barely on the show, I could see that Steve may just be keeping to himself and just going along with Adam's game moves. Devon vents to Frank that Shane enjoys being the villain, but Shane is right there able to overhear it. Shane threatens to leave the game over this, but Devon doesn't chase him down. The next day, Shane emotionally apologizes to Devon. She encourages him to reflect on why he keeps lashing out, and he commits to working on it. They try to make safe words to adjust their communication and seem to be cool for now. In the gym, Nicole and Melissa are acting freaky, but platonically, because Nicole has a girlfriend. Nicole says she's not a cheater, and Nicole and Melissa FaceTime Nicole's girlfriend, but I don't want to rag on Nicole. She talks about having kids with her girlfriend, and I've never heard her talk like that about anyone else, so that's growth, kind of. At deliberation, Nani and Turbo of course ask to get picked and vote for themselves. Everyone supports them, sending them into elimination against their better judgment, if I'm honest. Frank and Sam now have to decide who will face them. They head to the elimination, where Frank and Sam decide to throw Adam and Steve to face Nani and Turbo. Despite making a deal with Adam and Steve earlier this season, this was the logical move, but makes Adam regret saving Frank when he had the chance. The elimination is called Star Bluff. It'll take place in 2 rounds. In the first round, they have to sit across from each other and bluff to fool the opposing team about whether they have a star in their box. They'll do 5 rounds of that, and then work together to transfer yoga balls on giant chopsticks to their goal. For each point they get in the bluff round, they'll have to transfer 1 less ball. The first team to transfer all of their balls will win the elimination. They get started. Adam and Steve are interrogating Nani and Turbo. Adam uses his podcast studies to detect that Nani and Turbo are lying and get the first point. When they're on defense, Adam and Steve just basically act insane so Nani and Turbo can't read them and get a second point. They continue with this. Adam and Steve acting unhinged is rubbing off on Nani and Turbo, and it becomes a whole skit. Going into the second round, Adam and Steve head into the ball portion with a 1-ball advantage, and they get started. If Adam and Steve can just keep a good pace, they can win. And Nani and Turbo are struggling at first, but they start turning it up and trying to run to catch up. But haste makes waste, leading them to drop multiple times. There was no beating Adam and Steve with a disadvantage here, and Adam and Steve win their 5th elimination this season, eliminating Nani and Turbo, who have fixed their relationship and say they're leaving as family. TJ lets the final 4 know they made the final, with Devon and Shane, despite having a rough episode, both making their first finals. So we say goodbye to these players, starting with Turbo, who largely gave the usual fare from him, keeping to himself and calling everyone names that don't make sense. One of his big stories was him basically living in the common area. If you look at the house they're staying staying in, they're basically living in cubby holes with limited common area, and it seems to be raining a lot. Turbo living in the living room is what I think resulted in players hanging out in the bedroom a lot more than usual. I see why they were frustrated. Turbo is a good partner for Nani, but I've never really been a fan of his, and if I had the choice, I would still do without him on any given cast. And Nani, who was set up to do really well here with Turbo as a partner. Nani used to be a lot of fun, but especially recently, she's been so obsessed with winning that it takes all the fun out of it. I can't tell you the last time I saw Nani on the show really having fun or enjoying herself. It's always this really serious need to win. It makes me want her to just get the win so she can lighten up. I thought she was going to get it here, but now I feel next time we see her, she'll be even more intense. It's such a headache. That said, she is someone we keep up with, and I won't even mind seeing her again and keeping up with her post breakup from such a big relationship. But again, I just wish she'd lighten up. So that's all I have to say about this episode. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the episode, Nani and Turbo's departure, and who's your pick coming into the final. I'm going to say it. I want Cole and Melissa to win. If you liked the video, consider liking and subscribing. I'll be back next week with more challenge. Until next time, you know where to find me. Bye.